Quick note, this episode is part 1 of my conversation with Pat Maguire. We ended up talking for over an hour, so you'll hear the rest of the story in next week's episode. All right. Today on the Sunset Connection, I'm sitting down with someone whose name carries a lot of history here in the Sunset District, Pat Maguire. If you grew up in the Sunset, the Maguires are one of those families everyone's heard of. The big Irish Catholic clan, rooted in faith, work, and community. Pat's story goes deep. It runs from loss and addiction to rebuilding, forgiveness, and finding beauty again. His new book, All Things Beautiful, is part memoir, part tribute, especially to his late son, Kevin. So, welcome, Pat, to the Sunset Connection. I'm so happy to have you as my guest today.
Thank you, Jessica. It's a pleasure to be here, and I want to thank you for having me.
I am just really excited about interviewing you because of not only your personal story, but the story of the family of the Maguires and just kind of what that represents for the Sunset District, which is a huge part. And I'm so glad that we're finally kind of talking about it on this podcast, because what is the Sunset Connection without the Irish Catholics?
Correct.
Right?
Right, yeah.
So this is good. This is that the direction I want to continue is just really exploring all the facets of what the Sunset District has become in the past 100 years. And so before we kind of go backwards in time, can you tell me about yourself now? Like, what are you doing? How's your, like, what organizations are you with? Tell us about Java Beach and, what you do for Java Beach now, and kind of just an update on how things are going.
Yeah, well, my main priority above all things is my family. Raising my boys and just being there for Buffy wherever I can. Making sure they do well in school, that that they're thriving in sports or whatever they're into, that they're just healthy and happy and seen and heard and loved.
How old are your boys now?
So my youngest guy is 15. That's Dylan. My middle guy is 19 years old.
Wow. Is he going to college now?
He is. He's going to the University of Puget Sound in Tacoma, Washington.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a basketball player, and he played for International, which is a small school of 400 students. So we played in 5th division of the state, and we won the Division 5 state championship for the first time in international history, and only 5 schools in the whole history of San Francisco in any division have ever won the state championship.
That is amazing. So tell me more about international school. Like, where is it located? What is it like? How do people go to that school? Because I've never heard of it before.
Oh, international school is a great school. Yeah, my children have gone to that school since they were 3 years old, because it starts out as French American school, but we also shared the building with Chinese American. So there was French American, which is called FAIS, F-A-I-S, and then in the same building was Chinese American, C-A-I-S. And just this year, the Chinese American took over Mercy High School.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Are you guys also there?
No.
The new spot? So where are you guys located?
No, we're still on Oak Street.
Okay.
Yeah, so French American and International High School is on Oak Street.
In Hayes Valley.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about the decision to send your kids to the French American International School.
Yeah, what a great question. And I honestly get that asked a lot, especially, like when people see or hear my children speaking French, and they know what they were Irish, and they're like, well, how come your kids speak French? And it's the connection that we had there is Buffy, my wife. Her father married a French woman in the second marriage, and so Buffy has an entire French family, and they went to French American, and so we were there. I've been with Buffy for 30 years, so I got to see her brother and sister grow up. And they were at French American, and it was just seemed like such a great school.
Okay.
And what they taught, and that they learned other languages.
Right.
And then we had the opportunity to get in there when my son Kevin was I think Kevin was about 4 years old. He went to the Lycée Français in Corte Madera, and then a spot opened up at French American. And as soon as Kevin went in, we've been there ever since.
That's amazing. Because when people said your kids go to the French school, I immediately thought it was the Lycée Français on Ortega
Yeah.
in the Sunset District.
Yeah, a lot of people think that. Yeah.
No, then is that newer location then, or is?
No, they've been around for a while too, but they used to be in the Haight Ashbury.
Oh,
The
okay.
Lycée. Yeah.
Okay. So they just have 2 locations?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's really cool. I'm glad to, that you're happy with the school. And so all 3 of your kids have gone through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been just a incredible place. Just
Nice.
I'm really, really happy that that we chose to go there.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when they were really young, I just kind of thought, that I'll send them to either Holy Name and St. Ignatius or St. Gabriel's, and we went with it, and I'm really glad we did.
Yeah. I mean, SI is not a cheap school, though. So, like, do most of your family members, like, how do they afford to send their kids to SI?
Yeah, well, most of my family do pretty well. My oldest brother was in the San Francisco Fire Department, and he did well there. And he's also a carpenter. He was a carpenter, and a really good one for a long time. So he could always make extra money doing carpentry work. And
yeah, you need to introduce me to him.
Yeah. He doesn't do much he just recently retired.
Oh no.
From the fire department.
Yes.
But there's a lot of guys I can introduce you to, because that's, as you probably know, that's who a lot of Irish were in construction.
Yeah.
And the trades.
Yeah. I'd love to work with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I could introduce you to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, and then my sister works at UCSF in the radiology department.
Okay.
And my brother Daniel runs the Port of San Francisco Iron Workers.
Okay.
My sister Christiane was a sheriff.
Wow. So you guys are just everywhere.
Yeah.
And your brothers and sisters have kids of their own now.
Our kids have kids of their own.
Wow.
Yeah, that there's
how many are you? Like, how many?
Well, there's 7 of us,
right,
in my family.
Yeah.
And then there's 29 kids.
29 kids.
Yeah, and now the kids are having kids.
That's incredible.
It is.
Do you think you're the biggest family in the Sunset?
Oh, we are.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we are.
That's pretty large, right?
Yeah.
For family, like 29 plus 7.
Yeah.
Plus kids, like that's easily over 40 people. And so how do you guys get together? Like, how do you guys fit in one house?
Oh.
Like get-togethers and stuff.
Well, we have to rent out halls. So we rent out, we often rent out Lake Merced, the Lake Merced boathouse.
Okay.
For Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to rent out. Because not only that, but it's not just my family, it's also the in-laws that we married into. Like my sisters married a set of cousins.
Okay.
So we have a whole other family.
Oh, from the Sunset.
Yeah, the Frosts and the Crotties. It brings in a whole other load of people. And then so all the other in-laws that we have, like the Mulcreevies and the Miles and the Baileys, and it's just so many people. McPollins. We have so it just brings in.
So
even
your family is no longer just the Maguires. It's like a whole list of names, really.
Yeah, and in a weird way, it was always kind of that way. Since we were little kids, that we were always more than our actual blood family. When I was 15 years old, my father passed away, and so my mother was a widow with 7 kids. And she had to go back to work at Laguna Honda at nighttime. And so our house had no adult there. And if my mom ever heard there was a homeless kid from the neighborhood, she would say, "Go get that kid. He's living here with us." So not only did we all grow up there, but about, I don't know, I'm just going to guess, maybe 30 other kids from the neighborhood grew up at my house.
That's incredible.
Yeah, my mom just took care. Even if like, I remember one time we found these two twins from Dublin, Ireland,
Uh-huh.
from Ballymun, and they were living in the bushes. And my brother brought them home. He's like, "Here, I'll come home and take a shower at my house. You guys don't need to be living in the bushes." And then they came for a shower and ended up staying for like 10 years.
Well, Jesus.
Yeah.
So how do I'm so curious, like where do they stay? Are there enough rooms in the house? Like do you build more houses? Like how does that all work?
Well,
You guys all fit into a house.
well, there was couches and floors
Right.
and bunk beds.
Yes.
And I had a great spot in my house. I slept on the hallway floor by the heater. It was like a great location because I had the heater there.
But people had to walk by you?
Yeah,
Like if they had to use the restroom or something?
yeah,
And it
matter of
didn't
fact,
impact your sleep?
yeah. Matter of fact, I slept right outside the bathroom, and it was a great spot. I fought hard for that spot, and it was just
How many bedrooms and how many bathrooms were in this house?
oh
I'm just
gosh,
curious.
we only had 3 bedrooms.
So 3-bedroom, 2-bath?
Eventually, we built a second bath. We don't
There's only one bathroom for 30 people?
for most of our life. Yeah,
That's insane. Like,
Yeah.
and guys get I'm an only child.
yeah.
So this isn't even compute for me. Like, tell me more about like how the daily life of like what that even would look like. It sounds like chaos. Like, cause you have to like get ready to go to school. Like you have to
Yeah.
the bathroom. You have to like
Well, once the girls started to get a little older, we built a whole second bathroom and room downstairs for the girls.
Mm.
That way they didn't have to deal with us, which was nice.
So on average, how many people were in your house? Like on a
Oh.
regular basis?
Well, for one, our door was never locked ever. Matter of fact, if we ever locked it, my mom would get so mad. She goes, "Who locked that door?"
Weren't you afraid of like people breaking into your house then?
No, matter of fact, do you remember when the Night Stalker was
Yes.
was
Well, I don't remember, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, well, he was breaking into houses and we put up a sign saying "Welcome, Night Stalker," meaning come on in and it's the end of your terror. Like we weren't afraid of anybody. If someone like the Night Stalker was to walk in our house, it would have been bad for the Night Stalker.
Why?
Oh, if he planned on hurting someone in front
Yeah.
of you? Yeah. Well, because there's so many of us. Like, we didn't grow up with that fear of lock the door. Who's out there? Our door was just wide open. My brothers are like, they're 6'3", 6'4", 6'2". Like my older brother, John Joe, he looked like a grown man when he was like 15 years old, and he could bench press like 300 pounds.
Insane.
And that was just all, that was, it's like now guys, they all use supplements and steroids to like bench press, something like that. He just did it naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's such an interesting way of growing up. Do you think that's really impacted how you live your life?
Oh, absolutely. We just, in front of my house, we had couches out in front of my house, and we would just sit on the couches and,
They don't do that anymore, though.
no, we had weight piles out in front of my house where we just leave the weight pile out there and we'd work out right in front of the house.
It's a nice use of space.
Mm-hmm. And we had our backyard, we built like a little boxing ring in the back,
Wow.
heavy bags, weights.
Right.
So you could always, come and that's what we would do.
Local gym.
Yeah, it was a local gym. And then two of the guys from the backyard ended up going pretty famous fighters.
Really?
Yeah. One of the kids who grew up at our house was Pat Lawler, who fought for 5 world titles. And he fought Roberto Duran, Wilfred Benitez, John David Jackson.
Do you still keep in touch with him?
I see Pat every now and then. He went down to North Beach, and he hangs around North Beach a lot.
Okay.
Because I think so Pat's down there. And then my younger brother, Daniel, he also went pro, and he fought, he was 7-1 as a pro, but then started to get a lot of concussions because he was light heavyweight, and they get hit really hard. And his concussions started to just kind of go into even when he was training, he would get concussions. And so he was smart. He pulled out as 7-1, although, he probably would have had a title shot because they were already talking to him about that. And but his amateur career was great. He was the 7-time Golden Glove champion, and he won the Northern California champions a few times and the California champions a few times, and then he fought in the nationals. And say Oscar De La Hoya, when he was like 14 years old, he was my brother's roommate in it for the National Golden Gloves. So we knew Oscar since he was a little kid. But like all those guys, like anybody who ended up being a famous fighter, we know them.
So where do you guys train? Like, are there gyms in the Sunset?
There was a gym. Well, we had our backyard, and that's where the majority of everybody.
Who was the teacher? Like, who was the coach?
Oh, well, pretty much the best fighter out of my family was before my brother Daniel and Pat was my cousin Jimmy Keith, and he was a Golden Gloves fighter, and so he would just show us some skills and like the proper footwork and the proper how to cut angles and combinations. And then a lot of our training was just flat out sparring. We would just fight. So, nowadays you have to do all the training before you get in the ring.
Right.
We just walked right in the ring and just got down to business. I think it wasn't like I wanted to. I felt I had no choice. It just felt like I couldn't walk down the block without someone wanting to fight you back in those days.
Like everyone wanted to fight each other? Was that the culture?
I think so. I think there was just so many kids in the neighborhood. Like,
okay.
Like if you went down to 46 and Judah and tried to go to, buy something at 7-Eleven.
There'd be kids that are like,
there would be like 30
here.
There'd be like 30 kids.
And
like
just like, oh, wow. So
yeah. And then
that's
somebody,
terrifying.
yeah. And then somebody always had something to say.
Right.
Yeah. And then like, if like you were faced with either I take this and then, be like a clown or I fight. And, and there was like Bud's Ice Cream on Judah Street, right across the street from 7-Eleven. So a lot of like troublemakers hung out there too. Mm-hmm. Like that was the thing. I wasn't really a troublemaker when I was little. I was timid. I was shy. And I would say more like afraid. I was more afraid. And I kind of figured that leave all that fighting to the guys who were qualified. It's like, mm-hmm. I thought like, oh, like, like, go ahead. You want to fight my older brother. He'll fight you. He'll beat you up. Right.
Right.
But what I found out is they don't want to fight the big guys. Bullies don't. They want to fight the guys who they think they could beat up.
Interesting.
And so my brother John Joga walking down the street, nobody was going to fight him. And
yeah.
And but if they think they could take you on, they come for you. And then I found that out really quick that they do. And then you had to learn how to fight. And then it just turned into kind of a thing. And then
that seems like a very oppressive way of living. Like everyone.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Like you have to like fight everything.
Oh, it's absolutely horrible. That's why, it's funny because a lot of people, when you talk to people, they kind of glorify that. Like, remember back in the days when this and that? But I don't like to glorify it because it was terrifying, really, and horrible way of life. And I would never want my children to have to live that kind of life. So I would never want anybody to think that, oh, that's cool or that's tough or that's the way to go. Like, because it's, if you have an opportunity to live a different life.
So the Sunset was not a safe place.
Well, I think the city in itself was different. Like people always say, what gym did you learn how to fight at? And I go, the N Judah, the 18th Slow, the 29th Sunset. Like if you couldn't get on the streetcar or the bus without like some other group getting on the streetcar and wanting to fight you. And
crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then there was like rumbles and everything.
How old were you when they wanted to fight you? Like,
oh, like from an early age, but I used to just kind of like you could read it in my book. Like when these older guys tried to surround me and beat me up at Paulie Ann's, I just chickened out. I was like, they were like, come here, come outside, get your ass kicked. And I was just shaking. I remember my mint chocolate chip ice cream was like melting on my hand. And these guys were like, some of them were 10 years older than me. And they were like, they wanted to beat me up. And I was like, hey.
Wow.
And then someone ran and got my brother John Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And then he chased them all down, like 10 of them. One guy chased 10 of them down Noriega Street. And so like I would just like kind of chicken out or run until and it wasn't until after my dad died when I kind of turned where I go, I'm not running anymore. And I'm just gonna train. And although I never really got into like the sport of boxing, I did get into a lot of self-defense and martial arts. Just
Where did you learn those skills? Also,
well, yeah, I got more into kickboxing because
okay.
I like to use my feet,
Yeah.
and people don't expect you to kick them.
Oh,
Yeah, and people, especially if they think you're from a boxing family, all of a sudden they get kicked. It's kind of a surprise.
yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And so I spent a lot of time training kickboxing and wrestling, and then later in life, I got like after all the fights were over, I got
You like know a lot about fighting.
yeah,
I didn't realize that reading your book.
yeah.
I
Well,
know it was like a part of your life, but like now
yeah.
I'm seeing it's like actually a part of your identity.
Well, I try not to make it my identity. I try to I want more like I think a true martial artist humility should be more of my identity where I don't want to fight you.
Right.
I don't want to hurt
But that
you.
itself is identity, right? Like, Bruce
Yeah.
Lee, right?
Yes,
He was
correct.
not, okay, maybe Bruce Lee's a bad example, but there are people like, who are very good at martial arts who practice humility.
Yeah. That's it. I think if you do martial arts without the spirituality of it, it could be detrimental, I think. Especially like if you're operating from a place of fear, like I was when I was a kid, when I was getting in all these fights. Because look, after doing all my shadow work and stuff like that, and therapy, I found out that I was just all that violence came from a place of fear. I was just afraid, and although like people who knew me just thought I was like maybe a troublemaker or something like that, or kid who gets in trouble. But looking back on it, I found the root cause, and the root cause was fear. And then I also thought that I needed to protect my younger brothers and sisters, which you read in the book. When the big kid who I was fighting, like he dropped me twice, and I could hardly even see him. And this was 10 days after my dad died.
Wow.
And on the second time he dropped me, I just wanted to lay down. I didn't even want to get up. I was like, this guy's going to kill me if I get up. He was massive, and he also knew how to fight. It wasn't that he was big. This kid was a boxer and a wrestler. And so he was pretty talented. And he dropped me twice. And I remember the second time I wanted to say I quit. But he started to circle my little brothers and sisters and friends and look for his next target. And I remember kind of making a decision right there that I would rather die than let him hurt them. And I think it was in that moment I changed when I got back up, when I said, no, I'm not going to let this happen. I'm going to I'd rather die than watch this guy hurt my family. And the funny thing is when I got back up, that's when I started to win the fight.
Wow.
Yeah. He came running at me, and I got him with a pretty clean left hook, and he dropped. And that shocked him and his friends because he was dominating the fight.
Right.
And then he, the first time he dropped me, he started to mock me. He started to stand above me and beat his chest. And he was mocking me, so that brought me, like a lot of anger and shame. And so when I dropped him, I did the same thing to him. I stood above him, beat my chest. And he circled, and then I dropped him a second time. And on that second time, I did what he did to my family. I started to circle his friends. And I was like, any of you want to do this? And then that's when he gave up. And I later found out he broke both hands on my face.
What?
Both his hands were broken. And I guess that was one reason why he wanted to quit. And that's the thing about being like a fighter is it's not just so much that you know how to fight, it's you can also take a punch. And so, but that kid, I ended up making friends with him down the road. And that's how a lot of the Sunset District happened. Like the guys who you fought, you ended up making friends with them, which is weird.
Yeah, how did that even happen? Like just one day you're like, I don't want to fight anymore. We'll be friends.
Yeah, well,
That doesn't sound like that sounds crazy to me, but like that's great. I'm glad that happened.
yeah.
But was it because you guys were all realizing you're doing it to each other?
I think there's some level of respect you start having for people. But for me, I went back down, because all his friends were saying that I lost the fight. And so I think that's what really turned me. I was just fed up with all this. And I was like, all right, screw it. I'm going to go fight this guy again. And I found out where he hung out. And he hung out at Your Market on 48th Avenue.
What was that?
It was a little market. It's still there, believe it or not. It's called Your Market.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in between Judah and Lawton.
Oh, I know what that. Okay.
Yeah.
That one. Okay. It's
and so like kind of a lot of the hoodlums would hang out there. And then down the block too that I also wrote about in my book was we had the San Francisco ice rink. So that was the other location that like if you weren't like you would get picked on there too at the ice rink, like if you didn't know how to fight. There was always like some group of kids like hanging out in front with like steel toe boots and like Ben Davis pants and derby jackets and smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol. And if you tried to like just get through them,
you just wanted to go ice skate.
Yeah, I did.
That seems like such a innocent desire. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I just want to go ice skating. Oh, I just want to buy something from the 7-Eleven, and suddenly you just get your whole day.
Yeah.
Maybe your whole week, maybe your whole life is changed by this fight.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll leave it for now. If Pat's story resonated with you, you can read more in his new memoir, All Things Beautiful. Part personal story, part tribute to his son, Kevin. I'll link it in the episode notes. Next time, we'll talk about what it took to write it and how he found beauty on the other side of loss. I'm Jessica Ho, and this is The Sunset Connection. Thanks for listening.